Rockabilly fans, it's your old pal Steve. I hope you're doing fantastic. This is a really fun solo. It's a bit crazy and psycho, and that's why I love it. And the beginning part and the end part are from Rockabilly Boogie. It's a song by Johnny Burnette, I think in 1956, but what's interesting is his guitarist is Paul Burleson. And I think the guy didn't get the memo that Rockabilly has a lot of major chords and a lot of happy, fun stuff. A lot of his stuff that I've heard has been, minor and dissonant. I decided to mix it up. So I put a middle section here with some major notes, this fun little melodic kind of deal, to make it a bit happy and, not so stressful. But the beginning part is so cool. It's one of the coolest things I've ever heard. It's got this dissonant note and this little walk up that goes all the way up and this crazy, 5 notes in about a millisecond. So it's really cool once you get the hang of it. I think you're gonna love it. So in this video, I'm gonna give you the full lesson. I'm gonna teach you how to play everything you just heard, and then you'll be able to jam to it yourself with this jam track I've got at the end. It's a free jam track, ready to go. And if you like it, check out all my jam tracks at patreon.com/rockabillyjam. I got dozens of different styles and speeds and all sorts of good stuff. Okay, I'm done yapping. Let's get to this lesson. Here we go. Okay, here we are in awesome G major. The solo has 5 sections. I'm gonna play the whole thing all the way through slowly, and then we'll come back and break it down part by part. Up here on the 8th fret. Really beautiful solo right there. So let's play section 1. Here we go. 8th fret, putting my 2nd finger on the B string. And I'm hitting the open E like that. When you do them together, 3 times. 3rd finger on the 9th fret of the G string, down to the 7th fret of the G string with your 1st finger, and then you do this walk up all the way like this. And so the walk up, it starts on that 7th fret of the G string, goes to the 9th, 7th fret of the B, 8th fret of the B, put your pinky on the 10th fret of the B, and then slide that pinky up 1 fret to the 11th fret. Now the 8th fret of the E string, 9th fret, 10th fret of the E string. So one more time, all the way through. Now we're ready for the next part. So this section of the solo is the toughest part, but it's the coolest part. So I'll play the whole thing all the way through sort of quickly, then I'll do it slowly, and then we'll break it down. There's 4 little moments right here. It goes like this. Slower. This is the coolest thing ever right here. So this Johnny Burnette song and the solo by Paul Burleson, I don't know how he came up with this, but it's really cool. So you're on the 9th fret of the E string, and I take my 2nd finger and just sort of bend it up. You're trying to go up a half step. So this, do it twice like that, sort of get into that range. If it's a little dissonant, that's okay. That's part of the awesomeness. So, and then quickly, don't bring it all the way down. You don't want to bring it down. You don't want to go like this. Don't do that. Don't bring it down. Just sort of stop it on its way up like this. And then third finger on the 10th fret of the E string, and you're going to do a little thing like this. Right there. 10th, 9th, 8th on the E string. Pinky on the B string on the 11th. First finger on the 8th fret of the B string. But the whole thing has to happen really fast like this. Like that. So practice that over and over like this. Like that. So together. Now, the hard part is, after that, you gotta go right back up to that E string on the 9th fret again. So after doing this, you just wanna quickly, the moment you hit that 8th fret of the B string, just keep going with a downstroke with your pick onto the 9th fret of the E string. So like this, ready? So that's the second part of this 4-part little section right here. It goes 9th fret of the E string again. That one you do slide back down or sort of pull it back down and then go to the 8th fret of the E string, pinky on the B string on the 11th, and back to the 8th fret of the E. Like this. One more time. Then you repeat the original one over again. Same thing we did at the beginning. Right back up to the 9th fret of the E. And this one, you're sort of repeating that other phrase. But now you're walking down to get into that D major shape. Right there. Oh, sorry, it's a C major. Sorry, C major, of course. So it goes like this. So 9th fret of the E string, down to the 8th fret, pinky on the 11th of the B, go to the 8th fret of the B, and then G string on the 9th fret, back up to the B string on the 8th fret, and now you want to get that third finger way down on the D string on the 10th fret, like that. So I'm going to play the whole thing one more time. I'm spending a lot of time in this section because it's the hardest one. Here we go. All right, now we're ready for the next part. So the last section ended on the D string on the 10th fret, and that's where we're going to begin this next one. Now, previously I ended it with this note like that, but really you want to go like this. Like that. 1, 2, 3. So you're going to do this little walk up on the C major shape. You know, if you're playing a C major like that or like this, you're really just doing a little walk up of all those notes. It's just that, you know, the F shape up there on the 8th fret. So that's the 10th fret of the D string, 9th fret of the G string, and then 8th of the B and the E. So they all do 3, except that last one does 2 clicks right there. One more time. All right, after those 2 little clicks, it goes like this. Very cool. So you put your finger, first finger on the 6th fret of the E string, slide up to the 7th fret, and then 8th fret of the B string, 9th fret of the G string, down to the 7th fret of the G string, back up to the 9th fret of the G string, and now you play the same notes I just taught you together, like that. So if I were to play all those right there at the same time, Again, it was the 7th fret of the E string to the 8th fret of the B string to the 9th fret of the G string. So the whole little section goes like this. It's very cool. What's really neat is when you hit them all together like that, makes this beautiful little, baby little chord, and you can hit the last note or two staccato. So that one right there, you sort of clear out the other notes, and you want to land on the 8th fret of that B string. All right, the next section, you bring in your first finger. So you were already on the 8th fret of the B string, but you want to exchange fingers and get the first finger there, because the last section, this is really the end of the whole solo, goes like this. So it's reminiscent, again, of the beginning section right there, which has that dissonant, cool stuff going on the 9th fret. So again, this whole section begins on the 8th fret of the B string, and you can take your 3rd finger or pinky, whichever one you want, get to the 11th fret of the B, up to the 8th fret of the E, and then you're gonna do one more of those bends on the 9th fret of the E string. But after that second one, you're going to land with your first finger on the 8th fret of the E string. Like that, one little pop. And then I take my first finger and slide it up one, or if you hit the first note with this finger, whichever one you want to do, you want to probably get to this first finger. I'll tell you why. So it goes. I'll stop right there. So you're going on the 9th fret of the E, like that. 9th fret of the E, you're sliding, you're popping it once, and then you're going. So you're only hitting your pick twice, that first little click right there, but then the next one, you're going from 9 to 8, 9, 8 in a double little, slide, like that. Very cool little thing. Then you put your pinky, or 3rd finger, whichever one you want, on the 11th fret of the B, down to the 8th fret of the B, and now, you remember that open E string? You go like this. Super cool, super cool. So I've got my first finger on the 8th fret of the B string, and I'm hitting that open G, and I'm doing that upstroke again. That finger right there is the 9th fret of the G string. So again, the B is the 8th fret, 9th fret is the G string, and that open E. Down to the 7th fret of the G string, and then you play that along with the 8th fret of the B string and that open E. Like that, sort of, slide it down. So I did all upstrokes right there, but really only the last of that little set was an upstroke. So I'll play the whole end of this solo one more time. So you got to maneuver your fingers a little bit, get into the right place. But once you do, you end up with that sweet little G major thing right there, and you're sliding it down, and you're ready for the vocalist to come back in. Johnny Burnette's going to start singing, or heck, hit another solo wherever you want to. Okay, as always, I want to know what you think in the comments. Let me know how you did, what you thought of the song and the track and the lesson. Give me some requests for the future, and check out the free jam track in just a second. And remember, you can get all my jam tracks at patreon.com/rockabillyjam. All right, it's your turn.